All right, everybody. Welcome to Limitless Healing, episode 6, I believe we're on today. So today's topic, oh boy, this is near and dear to my heart. We're talking about mold. Just let that sit in there for a second. Mold. So if you know somebody, before we get started, if you know somebody, tag them in the comment box or be sure to share this video with somebody who you think either has mold in their home, who has had this in the past, or are still struggling with their health. And while we're doing that, not only do I want you to do that, but put your name and where you're watching in the comment section. I'm going to tell you a quick little story before we really get started today. So it's a story about a guy I know. So this patient was dealing with digestive troubles for a while, just moved to Pittsburgh, moved into a home that they were renting at the time, and there was a lot of digestive distress that was going on. Irritable bowel symptoms, constant stomach pain, constant acid reflux, never felt really good. And then that person started losing a lot of their muscle mass. So the patient started getting worried, tried to figure out what was going on, ran some tests, ran some stool tests, and found out that there were infections in the stool. So through certain rounds of treatment, using holistic herbs, we were able to start to subside some of the symptoms. All of a sudden, symptoms started coming back again and with vengeance. So this patient remembers vividly that he was saying that there's something going on with the house. There's something in it, something going on that just was not normal. And then their mother-in-law came to visit. The mother-in-law woke up 2 days in a row with a screaming headache in the morning. So that started to get that guy to think a little bit deeper about what might be going on in the actual house itself. So the house was an older home. It was built probably in the early 1900s or so. They did the best they could. They renovated that house. The people that had it before renovated the house, tried to clean everything up nice and neat. But something was still going on. And one of the stories that really sticks out was when this patient and his wife were waking up the one day and they went to go take their dogs for a walk. So came downstairs and the patient was ready to put the leash on their dog. And all of a sudden, the low back cramped up. And I'm not talking like, I got a little side stitch or maybe I just need to drink a little bit more water. It felt like a corkscrew went into the back and just twisted and grinded all the muscles together, brought him down to his knees to the point of crying and trying to call out to help or for help from his wife. Couldn't do it because the pain was so severe that it took the breath away from him. At that point, the patient was like, you know what? There's something going on in this house. And they tested it. And sure enough, there was mold that was found in the house. Once they moved out of that house, symptoms started to subside, did some mold detoxification, healed up the gut, and everything has been going back to normal as of today. That person, drumroll, was me. This is why mold is near and dear to my heart. Not only have I seen this with myself, I've worked with a lot of patients in the past, whether it's with black mold being in the home or it's some other version of mold that is in the home. It's very important to know that mold is not a normal thing to have. I don't care who tells you that it is. I'm going to show you today that there are actual physiological effects and damaging effects and devastating effects that mold can actually have on you. All right, and not just you as an adult, but also on your kids. So we're going to go over what we do in our office, what type of tests that we run, and why it's important. But before we do that, I'm going to go into a little bit more on how mold comes about. So I want you all to think about mold as kind of, it's an opportunistic type infection like you would have in your body. And if your house is strong enough, there's no mold that can penetrate through, no moisture that can penetrate through and have mold grow. But if the structure or the integrity of the home starts to deteriorate, more moisture can be pulled from the outside and come into the home, which makes a breeding ground for a symptom, which is mold. So much like what we do in our office with treating symptoms, or not treating symptoms, treating causes, we have to get to the underlying cause of why this situation happened to begin with. So when we have people get their homes restored or we have people come in, it's not enough just to have the house cleaned up. It's not enough to just take bleach and just try to throw it all over the bathroom or the windowsills, or if you have it behind your bed or on the side of your house. It's not enough to just wipe it clean, because that's like having weeds in your garden and all you do is take a weed whacker and just scalp it real nice and low and hope that it's going to go away. It's not. The soil is still perfectly fertile for those weeds to grow. It means the condition is still perfect for the mold to grow. Same thing in the house. So if you ever come across somebody who said, oh, I have mold and all I do is I just bleach it or I just clean it when the seasons change, that person needs to hear this message immediately, because their health is going to rapidly decline. Mold is known for mold spores. Mold spores are like dust particles that float around in the air. They're very, very, very small. If you actually physically see mold in the home, you already have a severe mold problem. I can't say that enough. If you see it with your eyes, you already have a severe mold problem. This is nothing to mess around with, because I'm coming with a little bit more passion today, because I'm tired of seeing this happen. This doesn't just take place in a home that was built in the 1500s. This takes place in homes that are newly built. 3 years old, we just ran a test on a patient. The mold was through the roof. Okay? There is mold behind the walls. There's mold in the planter bed. There's mold everywhere in these homes. It is massively important to understand, is your home mold free? And if it's not, is your home going to be livable after you clean it? And I'll show you how you can actually physically measure this. This is not something to mess around with. And the bad thing is, or the sucky part of this whole thing is, women typically are hit with mold symptoms more than men are. So women have symptoms that are more prevalent than men. I blame it to men just kind of being knuckleheads. I'm one of them. We just push through as much as we can until we can't anymore. So for men, a lot of the times what I see in guys is they'll have chronic back pain. Their back will always feel like it's knotted up, or sometimes their kidneys will hurt. They can have kidney stones. If you've had your gallbladder removed, okay, gallbladder helps. It's kind of like a storage pouch for mold too. If you've had your gallbladder removed, you no longer have the ability to kind of pocket the mold. It's just going to run rampant and spread through the body. They can have digestive issues. They can have fatigue. They can have heartburn. But guys are known for doing one thing and doing one thing really well: taking medications. What do I need to do to get back to work? And if it gets worse over time, I'll deal with it then. It's the men mentality. It's true, because we have to do a good day's work. It's just ingrained in us. I don't know why. It's just the way that it is. Women tend to be more susceptible to it as well. So when you have a woman in a home who is feeling the symptoms of having mold toxicity, and then you have a man in that same home who does not feel the same severe effects as that woman, how do you think that relationship dynamic is going to be? It's going to be pretty crappy. Okay, it's a very scientific term. It's going to be pretty crappy. I've had to have conversations with husbands in the past to allow them to fully understand what is going on with mold in the home. And it comes down to, if you truly love your spouse, you want them to be well. And this is where the education comes in, because a lot of people, even mold people, I talked to numerous patients this week, it's unbelievable that they'll have people who treat mold come in and say it's not a big freaking deal. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? I don't understand the logic on this, guys. And I'm going to show you why this is so severe. It's nothing to mess around with. So let me get to that. Women, what do women typically feel, in my experience, when they have mold toxicity? Brain fog, number one thing. Not as sharp as they used to be. And recurrence Wait for it. Yeast infections. Recurrent candida overgrowths. They won't go away. They keep taking medications, or antifungals, or they keep taking essential oils or some other herbs, or trying to treat the candida over and over and over and over again, and they can't get rid of it. And then it turns into a UTI. Then it can turn into kidney stones. They can have chronic fatigue. They can have fibromyalgia. They can have cancer. They can have hormonal problems, whether it's PMS or horrible menopausal symptoms. Absolutely. So when you're dealing with these types of symptoms, the last place you typically are going to think is mold, unless you know otherwise. But then what you're going to do is you're going to go to your doctor. Okay, most people are trained to do that. When we have a problem, where do we go? We're trained to go to our doctors. Doctors don't take mold seriously. You know why? No money associated with it. They don't have a medication that they could give you. But what they will try to do is send you to a psychologist or a therapist to talk things through, because they think you are crazy. Talk about the relationship dynamic. Your husband will typically think that you're crazy too, and that you're a hypochondriac. And it does go both ways. I've seen it both ways. Women think that their husbands are crazy. Husbands think that their wives are crazy. You have to understand what this does. And when you have a whole host of symptoms, you've been through the entire medical gambit, through scans, CT scans, CAT scans, MRIs, bone scans, hormonal testing. Hormonal testing with medical doctors is just a joke in and of itself. Or you have other things that you've gotten tested. You come back and the doctor sits back and goes, I don't see anything. What do you got? Hormonal problem? Let's put you on birth control. Let's try it. Oh, you're depressed? Okay. Antidepressant. Good luck. Oh, digestive troubles? Don't really have anything for that. Maybe I'll give you this medication. I don't know. Maybe I'll give you an immunosuppressant. I don't know. They're throwing spaghetti at a wall and hoping something sticks. They don't know what the hell's going on. So you get stuck with a diagnosis that is not suitable for you. They have not found your cause. They're only treating your symptoms, which is completely unacceptable. Completely. I've had patients who were so sensitive to mold. They were living in a house with mold all the way through it. And this patient would go into different stores and have like a 45-second reset where she would shut down. Her husband would be there for her, wait for her to come out of it, and boom, she'd come back to life after about 45 seconds. That was routine for them. I've had I think he was 17 or 18-year-old kid who started having seizures every Monday because his house had mold in it. He had mold in him. It's nothing to mess around with, guys. It truly, truly isn't. And it drives me nuts. And I think that one of the most important things, and I'll get to this at the end, but if you're in a home or you're looking to transfer into another home or rent or buy or whatever it is, and you're going to live in a house, the first thing that you should do before you ever step foot into that house in a moving sense is get it tested for mold. The first thing. Because then you can sleep well at night knowing that what you're doing is not damaging you or your kids. We're adults. Our bodies are far bigger than a baby. I've had patients tell me that they had a baby, move into the house, and as soon as they moved into the house, boom, respiratory tract issues. Oh, is that associated with mold? Bet your ass. What about asthma? Yep, 100%. So we're worried about COVID over here being something that's going to be damaging to your respiratory tract. How about we talk about mold? How about we talk about a category of mold called aspergillus, where you can have an aspergilloma, where you have a fungus ball in your lungs that will kill you. Think that might be a little bit more threatening than a stupid virus that kills 0.00 who knows % of people? Guys, we have to take this seriously. We truly, truly do. Not just for us as adults, but for our kids. There is a growing pandemic, epidemic, emics of infertility. Women having miscarriages left and right. And I'm not insensitive to that matter. I've helped, I think, 5 or 6 women so far this year get pregnant, and they're going to have kids coming up this year into next year. Why? Because I test things differently. I look for causes. I look for why their body wasn't allowing them to have the greatest gift on earth. There's a certain mycotoxin that comes from a family of mold. Mycophenolic acid. It's known for miscarriages. It's known for congenital abnormalities. You can have a baby that is born abnormal because you were exposed to mold while you were pregnant. Did your doctor ever tell you that? Joe B ever tell you that? It's kind of important. So let's go over what these tests actually look like. Okay? And another frequent question that I get is, can this be passed through breast milk? Absolutely. Okay? Absolutely. And then kids can have digestive issues. You can have rashes associated with it too. Big thing with mold is rashing. So be aware of that. Be cognizant of that. Okay? Now I'm going to start with the test that we run in the office. Okay? Because why not show you proof of what's actually going on here? Oh, that's too much. Too much information for you at once. Okay, clear it, clear it, clear it. All right, so here's what we're looking at here, guys. I blocked out all the names. We have what's called ochratoxin. Ochratoxin's a pretty nasty one, ladies and gentlemen. You'll see why on the following pages. It's horribly damaging to your body. All right, horribly damaging. So I saw some comments here. So Sylvia, hey, thanks for tuning in there. Thanks for tagging Kayla in this here as well. Clara, good to see you on here. She live in tents and move frequently. I mean, I would be cool with that. I don't know if my wife and kid would. I love the outdoors. Anyways, so this is what a test looks like. All right, so this patient had been suffering for a long time, going through the whole medical gambit, trying to figure out what's going on. Okay? We just got this test back. We got ochratoxin that's sky high. All right, normal is less than 7.5. So people are like, well, it's normal to be exposed to mold. To a certain extent, sure. But if you're going above and beyond that, not a good idea. It's also not a good idea if you have a genetic issue like MTHFR or COMT that you can't methylate and detox properly, because then you can't get rid of the mold. So any amount is toxic to your body. Remember that. So ochratoxin, found from the family of Aspergillus. So we already kind of talked about that one. Normal is less than 7.5. This patient was at 29.5. Just round up. Okay? About 29. Mycophenolic acid, this is the highest I've ever seen this one. This is high. 1,150. Less than 37 is normal. Okay? Just to put that into perspective for you guys. Let's go down here. All right, she was clear on these ones. Didn't have black mold in the home, which was good. No citrinin, none of those ones. Just two very, very harsh reactions. So that'll let you know that she's being exposed to Aspergillus and penicillium, because that's where those come from. Okay? Let's read a little bit into what ochratoxin can do. Let's break this down, ladies and gentlemen. We have ochratoxin, which is nephrotoxic, immunotoxic, and carcinogenic. Nephrotoxic, kidneys. Toxic to your kidneys. Can you go on dialysis because of mold? Yep. Kidney stones? Yep. UTIs? Yep. Bladder infections? Yep. What about what's above the kidneys? The adrenal glands? Suprarenal? Adrenal? Yep. Chronic fatigue? Yep. Swelling in the legs and feet? Yep. Is this kind of hitting home yet? And that's just one. Okay? Then we go immunotoxic. What's that mean? Toxic to, put it in the chat. What's that toxic to? Immunotoxic. Maybe your immune system? Yep. Does that mean you can fight off viruses, bacteria, infections? Nope. Can't fight them off. Your immune system's too weak. If your immune system's weak, what else can you get? Maybe a little bit of cancer? Yep. Let's push over to carcinogenic. Creates cancer. Oop. You think mold might be something we need to talk about? Yeah. All right. Number 1 cause of death in the United States is heart disease. Number 2, cancer. Number 3, medical errors. Maybe some of those medical errors is because they're missing something huge like mold. They even had to shut down a wing in a hospital last year because it had black mold all through the vents. Huh. That's fantastic. Mold loves to harbor itself wherever there's moisture, and then boom, hijack the HVAC system, go everywhere. Good job. Good luck recovering, guys. And every single patient that was in that hospital should be tested for mold toxicity and put on a detox to try to cleanse and heal that person. Otherwise, they're going to be right back where they were. Okay? So if you're in a hospital for an infection, you're trying to fight something off, and you're breathing in mold, are you ever going to be able to recover? Nope. You might be able to take some medications to make it pretend that you are, but you're not. It's true. You're not. Okay? So let's open this back up again. So what else do we have on this page with the ochratoxin? All right, so if we have ochratoxin, again, it's through water-damaged buildings. You can get some of this through the food that you're eating, wine, unfortunately. Dried fruits, those can have it too. Grape juices, dairy, I hate dairy so much. Spices, and coffee. So coffee is one of the highest mold concentrations of anything that's out there. So if you're drinking a cup of Folgers every morning, upgrade to Bulletproof. I've got no affiliation to them, but they're phenomenal. They've got a guarantee that there's no pesticide or mold in their coffee beans. It's pretty solid. I mean, it's the same price as other coffee. You might as well go that route. It's organic, it's healthy, it's good. Okay? Where else here? So studies have shown that ochratoxin can lead to significant oxidative damage in multiple brain regions. You mean it can attack your brain? Yep, sure can. What else can it do, Dr. Jock? Well, let's see. So dopamine decreased. Oh, okay. So that's not a good thing. So dopamine, what happens if that decreases? Other symptoms. A little bit of depression can happen. Okay? Dopamine, again, leading into those Alzheimer's, Parkinson's, neurodegenerative diseases. What does neurodegeneration actually mean? What does neurodegeneration mean? Degeneration to neurons. The signals firing up and down from our bodies, from our brains, down our spinal cord, out the nerves to every organ, cell, and tissue in our body needs to be at 1,000%. 1,000%. It also doesn't need any dang oxidative damage because that'll go down and damage your DNA. Good stuff. Okay? 8-hydroxy is something that we measure on one of our tests that can tell you if you do have oxidative damage. Could be due to mold. Could be mold exposure. If it is, then you got to repair it. You got to do it. It's possible. Don't let your doctor tell you it's not. You just have to address it. And again, address the cause. Don't just address the oxidative damage, or you'll never permanently get well. That's the purpose here. We want to permanently get you well until you come across your next battle, okay? Or make you so healthy that next time you do have something that you battle, you don't get it, okay? So let's move past here. So what else? So we already talked about the Parkinson side of things, the neurodegenerative. Hold on one second here. All right, it's good. There we go. Okay. So we got Alzheimer's, Parkinson's. What do you want to do? Remove the source of exposure. Clean the dang house. Clean it or leave it or burn it down. I don't care. Get out. You got to get out. Okay? It's like breathing in a little bit of poison every single day. Is that good for you? Hell no. Might not kill you today, but it will kill you later. Sure will. Okay? What else do we have here? Mycophenolic acid. Okay? So mycophenolic acid, they call it MPA, is antifungal, antibacterial, and antiviral mycotoxin acid. They actually use mycophenolic acid as an immunosuppressant drug. Let that sit there for a second. They can use this for its negative properties, which is suppressing your dang immune system. Look at this. It damages your B and T lymphocytes. How are you supposed to fight anything off if you have exposure to mycophenolic acid? Just saying. So, increased risk for opportunistic infections such as Clostridia and Candida. Recurring Candida infections, can't get rid of them. Well, are you still in a moldy environment? Mold and fungus, they love the same environments. You might want to work on them together. Just throwing it out there for you guys. This needs to be exposed. This needs to be shared. It truly does. All right? What else? There we go. Miscarriages. Okay? Miscarriages. That's not a fun thing for a woman to experience. And when their doctor makes it think like, okay, let's just get you on some progesterone. Let's get you on some shots. Let's do some IUI, IV. I hate this stuff so much. There's a reason that your body is not getting pregnant. There's a reason. It's not insensitive of me to say that. Sick people create sick children. If you are synthetically forced to have a child and your internal environment is shit, guess what? You are going to have a kid that has so much of a toxic burden right out of the gates. Don't do that to yourself. Fix your body. Let your body allow you to have the greatest blessing on earth, in my opinion. Creating life. Fix it. Don't waste your money on $20,000, $30,000, $40,000 worth of treatments that don't do crap for you. And it's tough. It's really hard when you have to hear what your protocol looks like and the trigger shots and all these other things. It's a lot of work just to try to get pregnant. And that's going to stress you out. That's going to steal your progesterone and create more cortisol or more stress for you. And you have a chance to lose the baby again. All right? Again, not being insensitive. I'm being honest. From what I see and why we get the results that we do is because we approach health differently. We have to test these things. We have to make sure that your body is clean and clear and under control. I had to throw that in there. Clean and clear. I'm so brainwashed from commercials I used to watch. So that way your body creates a healthy child. It's imperative. Absolutely imperative. Okay? That's just one. That's just one test that we ran. Okay? Let's bring up another one here. All right, this is one of a guy right here. He had a double whammy, actually, which I felt really bad. But again, this is something that's pretty fantastic. So let's tell the story about this patient. So he wanted to be a patient in the office. He had some issues that were going on. I don't need to discuss all of it. But then his wife turned orange. Like, boom, orange. Whoa, jaundice. It's just supposed to work with him. And he starts asking questions about his wife. Her liver enzyme shot through the roof. What in the world is going on? What? We worked on it. Okay, she came out of the hospital and like, you're in my world. Got her on some things, got rid of the orange. Doesn't have the orange tint, doesn't have jaundice. Liver enzymes went down. Doctor has no freaking clue how it happened. They're blown away, which is one of the reasons I love what we do. We always confuse medical doctors because they're stupid a lot of times. Sorry, they are. And what else did we find? Mold. Mold in the house. Not only did they have that, they had a radon leak in the house as well. Double whammy. If I didn't run these tests, they would have never known that there was mold, and they would have never found out that there was a radon leak going into their house. I'm just going to let that sit there for a second. This is why I dig. I know a lot of times it makes me seem like I'm completely crazy because I'm like, mold, you, mold, you, mold. Every single time, okay, let me pull this up on a full screen. Every single time that I have tested for mold, 100% comes back as a positive. 100%. It is massively, massively prevalent in our society. Massively. And the only way you can consciously rule out that you don't have mold is either test your home or test your body. And you will figure out if you do have mold, is it coming from your house? And if you have mold in your body, how much and what categories are you absorbing? And how the heck do you get it out? That's where you come to somebody like myself. It's massively important. So let's go back into this one. So this guy had radon. Ochratoxin was sky high again. A little bit of mycophenolic acid. There's some infertility things that we'll talk about. Gut issues, okay. He had a little bit of citrinin, so multiple mold species in on there. Okay, we already talked about that. So citrinin, mycotoxin, it comes from that, can lead to nephropathy. So kidney issues, again, not good. Ability to increase permeability to mitochondrial membranes in the kidneys. So again, damaging the kidneys. You can get it through ingestion, inhalation, and skin contact. Is known to be carcinogenic. Okay? Known to suppress the immune system. Guys, come on. Let's take this stuff seriously. Not only do you need to have this information, you need to get a test. You need to get it freaking cleaned up immediately. It's not anything to mess around with. That was just another test. And so how do you know? If you're like, Doc, what do I need to do? How do I need to analyze this? Well, I'll show you. This is gold standard right here. This is why I use it. It's the freaking gold standard. This is called an ERMI test. Okay? ERMI. Gold standard. That's all you need to know. ERMI results on this. 34.3. This says, how much mold's in your house? All right? Q4. What's that mean? Source and cause of mold needs to be determined and remediation is undertaken. Reducing the ERMI to levels below Q2. What's below Q2? Less than -4. So this person has 38 points that it needs to drop to get the mold down to normal. How livable is this house? Oh snap, what's the Hertzme score? Okay, what is a Hertzme score? That's going to be something, I don't know how I just did that. That's going to be something that tells you, is your house livable? Reoccupancy is ill-advised until further remediation and reassessment is conclusive, which means get the heck out of your house and get somebody there to clean this thing up, retest it before you ever move back in. And you might as well, in my opinion, get rid of all the crap that you have in a house too. Get rid of your couches, get rid of your mattresses, get rid of your clothes, and start from scratch. That stuff you'll learn. This house is not suitable for adults to be in. Not only that, she has children. Not suitable. Need to clean the house. Retest it before moving in. It's the bottom line. This is why this needs to be addressed before you ever even buy, build, or get into a house. My opinion, my professional opinion. Okay? What else do we have here? Let's bring up my last one here. Another ERMI test. Okay? So let's get this back over. Okay? Good. Let's see if that's in there. Okay, let's do this. And pull it up front and center. Okay, another one. 23. Q4. It's red. Too much mold. Okay? Q4. Hertzme score. 24. Get out. Stay out. Just saying, guys. It's right there. Get out. Stay out. These aren't weird witchcraft hooky dooky tests. This is legitimate, scientifically backed testing. Mold is something serious. And what I'm going to end with is, if you have been through the ringer, you have no clue why these symptoms are coming up or popping up, or you've been to doctors and you have no clue what is going on, what do you have to lose to test and see if you have mold? Nothing. You have nothing to lose. Get this stuff tested now, when you're as young as humanly possible, and do not wait until this is too late. We've already gone over enough where this can damage your kidneys, damage your hormones, damage your adrenal glands, damage your brain, cause Alzheimer's, cause dementia, cause Parkinson's. The list goes on. Wouldn't it be smart for you to get this tested? You know what else mold can cause? Heart arrhythmias. Heart disease, #1 killer. Cancer, #2 killer. Maybe we should test this to maybe rule that out. Just a thought. when we're talking about mold, you can tell this is probably the most passionate I've been on a topic in a while. And it's because I'm honestly, I'm sick of it. I'm sick of seeing mold. I'm sick of seeing people struggle losing their health. I'm sick of people saying I have mold toxicity and other people coming out of the woodwork and say, no, you don't. That's made up. You don't have that. I don't believe you. I have mold in my house and I'm fine. Oh, let me pop my medications real quick. I'm tired of it. If you have mold toxicity, I don't give a rat's behind if somebody doesn't believe you. Because guess what? They're not the ones who have to wake up every morning feeling like they're a 100-year-old person, bones grinding, clicking, trying to get out of bed. Okay? There's somebody who, I'm not going to say her name per se, but another one that we worked with. She had Hashimoto's. Okay, there you go. Autoimmune disorder. She felt like an old woman every single day that she would wake up. Found out mold toxicity. Really high level mold toxicity in the house. Cleaned it up. Guess what? Thyroid's back to normal. She's doing pretty well. Okay, guess what else? She doesn't wake up feeling like she's an old lady. Oh wait, what about the kids? Kids had croup. Upper respiratory issues. Don't have it anymore, unless they eat bad. Don't have it anymore. So what about your kid with asthma? Could it be because they're breathing in mold? Look up CIRS, C-I-R-S. Test your house, or at the very least, test yourself. Because your health is your responsibility. And it's nobody else's opinion that needs to be put into your mind. If you know that your body doesn't feel normal, you're not wrong. Something is going on. Even if it is literally in your head, there's a reason why what's going on in your head isn't what it should be. There's a cause. Find it, eliminate it, and get your health back. That's what I'm going to leave you with today. If you know somebody, again, I know some people were tagged in this. If you know somebody who suffered, like I have explained through any of this, and they are not getting any answers at all, please have them at least reach out to me. We have on our website at drjockmoser.com, we have a little box that will pop up, and you can sign up for a free 15-minute discovery call with me to see if you have something that I can help you out with. So if you know somebody who's struggling, they don't know if they can trust somebody or they don't know if they're crazy, have them reach out. I can promise you, I've heard some of the craziest stories that have come across any medical doctor's office. And that's where we get results. And that's where I thrive because I love being the underdog. I love when endocrinologists and medical doctors give up. You know why? Because I can get in there, I can get those results and help you to obtain those results and completely stump your doctor. And I love it. So allow yourself to become the doctor. Allow yourself to keep digging until you find answers. And if you want, allow me to help you. I would be more than willing, more than able. It doesn't matter if you're in Pittsburgh or if you're across the country. Okay, we go international on this stuff. Let me know. And I would love to be able to help you out. So guys, I am going to get going because I want to go hang out with my family on a Saturday morning. So honestly, please, I'm begging you, please share this video. You will lose nothing doing so. Get this information out there so people can learn what can truly be happening with mold toxicity. So thank you guys for tuning in. Clara, thank you for being on. Sylvia, thank you for being on as well. And I'll see you guys next week. Topic yet to be determined.